What if I told you, turning 70 was the best thing that ever happened to me? Would you believe it? Because let's be honest, most people think getting older means fading into the background. Like life slowly starts to dim, you lose your purpose, your energy, your joy. But what if we've got it all wrong? What if aging isn't the end of the story, but the beginning of the best chapter yet? I used to fear getting old. Really fear it. After my husband passed, the silence in our house was deafening. There were nights I'd lay awake, staring at the ceiling, wondering if the best parts of my life had already happened. I didn't recognize myself. I didn't recognize my days. But then, something shifted. And what happened next completely changed the way I look at aging. Now, this shift didn't come from some big dramatic event. There was no grand adventure, no lightning bolt of purpose. It came from the small things. Little daily choices. Ones you can make too. This video isn't just about me. It's about you, and what's still possible at 70, at 80, and beyond. So if you've ever found yourself wondering quietly, is this all there is? Please keep watching. Because I'm going to share the one moment that completely flipped the way I looked at life after 70. And I promise, by the end of this video, you'll see aging not as something to fear, but as something to embrace. A kind of rebirth. A chance to truly live again. Now, before we go on, let me ask you something personal. What's one thing you've always wanted to do but never gave yourself permission to try? Leave a comment below. I'd love to hear your story. And if this video touches your heart even a little bit, do me a favor, click like, subscribe, and share it with someone else who might need this today. You never know who's quietly waiting for a message like this. So let's begin. You see, reaching 70 isn't the finish line. It's a doorway. It's the gateway to something richer, more authentic, and in many ways, more alive than anything I experienced at 30 or 40. If you're still watching, maybe part of you feels the way I used to, a little unsure about what aging really means. Maybe even afraid. I get it. We live in a world that teaches us to fear growing old. The media makes it seem like a slow fade, beauty gone, purpose lost, relevance slipping away. But I want to challenge that idea. Because when I turned 70, something clicked. I stopped chasing and started savoring. No more trying to impress. No more rushing through life just to check boxes. No more living by someone else's schedule or standards. For the first time, I saw the morning. Like really saw it. I'd sit with my coffee, feel the warmth in both hands, and just be. The way the sun hit the counter. The soft sound of birds outside. I didn't rush to answer emails or plan my next to-do. I just breathed. And those little moments? They're not little at all. They're sacred. They were always there, I just couldn't see them before, because I was too busy doing. Now, I'm finally being. And here's something else I didn't expect. When you hit this age, you start to realize just how much quiet wisdom you've been collecting your whole life. Not the kind you get from books or school. I'm talking about earned wisdom, the kind that comes from heartbreak, from getting back up after being knocked down, from loving people and losing them and somehow still loving anyway. That's elderly wisdom. And let me tell you, it's powerful. It's real. It matters. But no one's going to hand it to you on a silver platter. You have to claim it. You have to own it. No one else is going to tell you, hey, you're valuable now. The world is too busy chasing what's new and shiny. So it's on you to choose a new rhythm. One where your value isn't based on what you produce or how fast you move. Your value is in your presence. Just being here. And that, my friend, is enough. That's where the new life begins. That's when the pressure lifts and you finally realize, you don't need to keep up anymore. You just need to show up. Fully. Honestly. Quietly powerful. So let me ask you something. Have you spent your 60s feeling like the best years were behind you? Then I want to gently challenge that belief. What if your 70s are the decade where your soul finally gets to speak? What if now is when your story begins to deepen, to stretch, to shine in ways it never could before? What if these are the years, the ones people overlook, that turn out to be the most meaningful of all? It starts with noticing the little joys. It grows when you begin honoring your boundaries. It blossoms when you give yourself permission to try something just for you. A hobby. A dream. A walk alone without needing to explain it to anyone. That's not selfish. That's healing. That's power. That's what these years can become, if you let them. So please, don't let anyone, not even yourself, tell you it's too late. Because I'm here at 70, and I feel more alive, more awake, more in love with life than I ever did at 30. This isn't the beginning of the end. It's the return to what matters. And here's the best part. You already have everything inside you to live it. You've earned this peace. You deserve this joy. Let's live it, together. You know, something shifts when you start asking not, do people still need me, but instead, how can I live in a way that reflects my value? That's what I did. I didn't try to fight invisibility with noise, I just started living more fully. When I picked up a paintbrush at 71, it wasn't to impress anyone. I just wanted to finally express a part of me that had been quiet for too long. My friend John. He booked a solo trip to Italy at 74, not to prove anything, but to feel wonder again. And Lillian down the street? She started volunteering at an animal shelter, not for applause, but because purpose still matters. Purpose always matters. See, these choices remind the world, and ourselves, that we're still here, still growing, still giving. The truth is, one of the most powerful things you can do at this stage of life is flip the script. Instead of asking, why doesn't the world value me, ask, how can I show up in a way that honors who I really am? That change in mindset? It's transformative. You don't need anyone else's permission to live meaningfully. You've lived too much life to wait around for someone else to validate it. So speak up more. Share your stories with your grandkids, yes, the silly ones, but also the ones that carry meaning. Let those stories be like lanterns lighting the path behind you for someone still figuring things out. Mentor someone younger. Not from a place of, I know better, but from a place of, I've been there. When society tells you to step back, let your life say, I'm still here. And I have something to offer. Because you do. You always have. There is no expiration date on wisdom. No sell-by label on significance. If anything, the longer you've lived, the more valuable your insight becomes, because it's been tested. It's not just theory. It's lived. So what do? We show up differently. We walk with dignity. We speak with confidence. We age out loud. You don't need standing ovations or magazine covers. What you need is already within you, the grace, the grit, the stories that only someone with your years and your heart can tell. And when you live like that, boldly, unapologetically, you give others permission to do the same. You stop waiting for a seat at the table and instead, you bring your own chair. You sit down with presence, with purpose, with power. This isn't about proving anything to the world. It's about rewriting the narrative, not just for us, but for every generation that's watching. Because whether they admit it or not, younger people are watching. They're wondering, what does life really look like after retirement? And we get to show them that it's not a fade to gray. It's a shift to rich color. We're not invisible. We're essential. And we always have been. Hourglass not done. It's not about having more time. It's about making time meaningful. And if you're thinking, I don't even know where to start, just begin with one simple question. What did I love doing as a child that I never made time for as an adult? That question alone can unlock more than you expect. Maybe it's music. Maybe it's storytelling. Maybe it's just walking barefoot in the grass. Reclaiming joy doesn't have to impress anyone. It only has to feel real, to you. In a world obsessed with youth and achievement, playing, laughing, trying something just because it lights you up isn't indulgent. It's wisdom. Elderly wisdom. And that's how we turn these years into something deep, powerful, and incredibly present. So find your spark, no matter how small, and follow it. Let joy be your protest against decline. Let passion be your quiet revolution. Because when you fill your days with purpose, even in the smallest ways, you're not just living longer, you're living deeper. And that, my friend, is a legacy worth building. 6. The little things that make life beautiful. Once you begin to rediscover passion and purpose, through painting, gardening, volunteering, or simply being at peace with yourself, something even deeper starts to unfold. You begin to notice life again. Not just the big moments, but the tiny, quiet ones we used to rush past. You realize joy doesn't always come from celebration. Sometimes, it's in the ordinary. The way morning light filters through your curtains. The comfort of a familiar cup of tea. The sound of children laughing outside. Or the steady rhythm of your feet on an evening walk. These little things, so easy to miss, become sacred reminders that you are still here. Still living, still connected to the rhythm of the world. And this isn't just poetic, it's essential. Because the more you recognize these small gifts, the more gratitude you create. And gratitude changes everything. It rewires your brain, lifts your spirit, and shifts your perspective. In fact, studies show that regular gratitude practice in older age leads to better emotional well-being, improved sleep, and even stronger immune function. But this isn't just about science. It's about feeling alive again. I used to think I had to chase more to feel fulfilled. More activity, more people, more excitement. But now I know. It's doing less, with intention, that brings the most peace. Fewer obligations. Fewer distractions. More presence. More depth. I'll never forget one crisp fall afternoon. Sitting on my porch, wrapped in a sweater my daughter gave me years ago. No agenda, no performance. Just stillness. And in that stillness, I felt something I hadn't felt in years. Complete. Complete in the moment. Complete in who I was. That kind of fulfillment, you can't buy it. You can't plan it. It only comes when you slow down long enough to receive it. So if your days feel dull or directionless, don't underestimate the power of creating little rituals. Maybe it's writing down 3 things you're grateful for before bed. Maybe it's playing your favorite song while you cook. Maybe it's calling one person each week just to say, "I was thinking of you." These small acts, repeated with love, become the rhythm of a meaningful life. And don't let anyone tell you they're not enough. They are. In fact, they're everything. This chapter of life isn't about proving your worth. It's about experiencing it. You've already given so much to the world. You've raised families, built careers, endured loss, and celebrated triumphs. Now, you get to live. Not for others. Not to be seen. But to feel. To truly feel what it means to be you. To build a life rich in texture. Even if it looks quiet on the outside. That's what this journey is about. So open your eyes each morning. Not with dread, but with gentle anticipation. There is beauty waiting for you. In your garden. In your kitchen. In your heart. And the more you notice it, the more it grows. You don't need to chase the extraordinary. Just learn to cherish the ordinary. Because that That's where the most extraordinary joy is hiding. So here we are. At a stage of life where the world expects us to slow down. But we're choosing something else. We're choosing depth over noise. Meaning over busyness. Presence over performance. We're learning that joy doesn't have to be loud. And fulfillment? It doesn't need permission. If you felt a shift in your heart while listening to this, that's no accident. That's your inner wisdom speaking. Honor it. Follow it. Now I'd love to hear from you. What's one small moment in your day that brings you quiet joy? Or, what's one passion you're ready to revisit, just for you? Leave a comment below. I read every single one. If this video touched your heart, please give it a like. Share it with someone who might need this message. And subscribe for more reflections and stories rooted in elderly wisdom. This journey isn't over. In fact, the best part may just be beginning. And I truly hope we'll walk it together.